Excellence. Welcome to the Plymouth Ice Center here in Plymouth, Minnesota, as we get ready for our final game of day number 2 of this tradition at the PIC tournament. It'll be the Centennial Cougars and the Blake Bears going head-to-head here this evening. We'll get you caught up a little bit on these teams so far in the tournament. For Blake, it was a win yesterday. They had the opening game of the tournament, and they beat St. Michael Albertville 3-0. Meanwhile, Centennial played the second game yesterday against Cretin-Derham Hall, and not a good game for the Cougars. And I think they learned a little bit more about Matthew Gleason from Cretin-Derham Hall than they would have liked to, as Gleason scored 6 points, 4 goals, 2 assists against the Cougars yesterday. So we get ready for action, and we're underway here at the Plymouth Ice Center, our final game of day number 2. And as we get going, sent into the zone, Leo Troge will play it. He is the starter for Centennial. And meanwhile, Blake will go with number 31, Jonah Spaeth. As here's an early chance, and held on to for the whistle there by Spaeth. Yesterday, Blake went with Axel Reed, and he got the shutout, but they are going to go with Spaeth here instead for Blake. And again, Leo Troge got the start yesterday for Centennial, and he gets it again here today. Shot was blocked there in front of the net, so now Blake will take a hold of it as it's gathered by Ben Dexheimer. Now played up along the wall. Here is Tommy Carls for the Cougars. And Carls will move it up the other way. Taking a hold of now by Centennial. They'll cycle it back down low below the goal line, where it is played by Joe Miller. Now up the boards, Blake will come up through center. Good speed from Miller as he dumps it off. Along the side, as it's Gavin Best. Had a good game yesterday against St. Michael Albertville. And in behind the nets now, taken a hold of by Everson. Up the boards, kept in for a moment there, but now Centennial will play it across the zone. Nice dump in there from Sam Munson, the defenseman. Played at the far side now for Latchin Reed of the Blake Bears. Now Munson will go back to get it here at the blue line, and Munson will flip it into the zone. Back behind the Blake goal. 15:20 to go here in the first period. Out through center it comes, and Munson will fire it into the zone and come off for the change. Quickly played up ahead now by the Bears. Intercepted right at the line, but regathered by Brett Witzke in front. They tried to find a man there, as it's Centennial. James Novotny had it there for a moment. Now here come the Cougars out at center. Flipped into the zone and banked deep, as Blake will play it in their own end here. Gathered in for a moment by Jake Svendal, the defenseman for Blake, who had a really good game yesterday defensively against St. Michael Albertville in the 3-0 win. Now the Bears come out through center as it's played into the zone. Thomas Nelson throws it to the front of the goal. Broken up there by the Cougars defense. And now played out of the zone by Novotny. This one will go back below the Blake net, as we get lots of action here early, and a couple of changes for both teams. Haven't really had many stoppages so far in this game. Here's Svendal, had it poked off the stick, and back the other way. That's Will Svendal for the Blake Bears. His brother Jake, number 26, a defenseman. Pad save there from Spaeth, and it will come back the other way. Now the Bears into the zone. Here's Best. Shot there, stick save. Rebound will come up to the point where it's just kept in at the line. Now top of the circle, shot missed the net. Follow-up try back behind the goal by Saber, and that will be covered for the whistle. 13:36 remaining here in our first period of play. This is Blake and Centennial. Final game of the tradition at the PIC tournament in day number 2. We'll have 4 more tomorrow. coming your way. So been a great couple days of hockey so far. We've had some really good games, and specifically last night, Hill Murray and Wayzata, instant classic here at the Plymouth Ice Center. We had a packed house, and the home fans of the Wayzata Trojans went home happy as they won 4-3 in overtime. Up the boards now, AJ Carls flips it in back behind the net. Up now along the boards as it's banked out of the zone by Saber. Here comes Saber with speed. Backhander in front, scores! That was actually Joe Miller that buried it, and Blake has struck first. It is 1-0. That was Saber, I believe, that's going to get the primary assist there.
20 unassisted, 2-0.
Actually, unassisted was we will watch the replay. Take a look at this one. The puck kind of just popped loose, and Miller buries it. Nice goal and a nice celly as Blake gets the first goal of the game here. 12:59 to go in the first period of play. So Miller unassisted on the goal for Blake as they strike early here and held on to for another stoppage with 12:48 to go. 4 shots on goal for the visiting Cougars, but they have yet to get a goal. We're still early in this one, but 1-0 lead for Blake. Off the draw into the corner, Svendal has it for the Bears. Banks it up off the glass, but not out of play. Now the Bears come into the zone. That's Will Svendal, or Jake Svendal rather, for the Bears. Cougars trying to take a hold of it now as they do so, and moved up the boards. Intercepted at the line. Connor Mahoney was right there for Blake. Now they'll go back into their own end and at neutral ice. Picked off there. Gathered in by Jake Pearson, and this will go into the netting and out of play. 12:09 to go in the first. Blake has won 3 in a row now after their win against St. Michael Albertville. That was a 3-0 win, and their game before against St. Louis Park was also a 3-0 win. So back-to-back 3-0 wins and back-to-back shutouts for the Blake Bears as we get back underway after the face-off. And Centennial has it in the offensive zone. Here's a big wrister from the point, snagged up and in the glove there of the goaltender Jonah Spaeth. Spaeth is just a freshman for the Blake Bears, and he will be interesting to see, or it'll be interesting to see how he adjusts here today. Across the line, Blake way offside. So slow it down here with 11:51 to go in the period. And the other goalie listed on the Blake roster is Axel Reed, and he is a junior. He got the start yesterday in Blake's win over St. Michael Albertville. Off the draw, one back here as Will Svendal will push it forward. Here's another quick shot, they score! Jack Saber gets the goal, and it is now 2-0 in favor of Blake as they keep it rolling here. We'll take a look at this one on replay once
9
more.
from 4.
That is Jack Saber from Ben Dexheimer on the goal. Nice snapper there. And that is the second goal of the day. So Jack Saber gets that one to go into the back of the net now. With 11:42 to go in the period, Blake already up 2-0 here in the first few minutes of the game. Now here's Carls the other way. This one will bounce to the corner where it's played along the wall. Pinning a man up against that wall is Dexheimer. He got the lone assist on that goal by Jack Saber. So now the Bears will come out the other way into the zone. Nice move into the corner as Miller has it. He's got one of the 2 goals. Miller down low, just missed the tape there of Saber. And Centennial play it out. A big hit there as Reed will bump it back. This one missed the tape, and that was AJ Lemire trying to get the puck gathered in there for the Cougars. Tipped into the zone to avoid the icing. And now played in the left corner. Oh, big hit there from Reed. Laying the body here early on at the Plymouth Ice Center. Up along the wall as it's gathered in now. Here come the Bears into the offensive zone. Nice pass in the slot, backhander fought off there from Centennial's Leo Troge. Now off the wall. Hit there along the boards as this puck will come into the zone. Taken a hold of by Blake again as they try and exit. The intended target that time was Witzke. And Troge will just play it back behind the net. Witzke whacking away. Still loose back behind the goal line. And this will go into the corner here. Witzke trying to grab a hold of it, but swung to the other side by the Bears. Up along the boards now. Pearson will fling it off the glass. And he played up through center. Blake trying to come back and get into the offensive zone, trying to make it maybe a 3-0 lead here in the early going. We've played about half of this first period. Blake already on top, 2-0. They are listed as the home team on the scoreboard. Around the outside, here they come. Wrapping around and cycling it back deep there for the Bears, and they score again. It's 3-0. And Blake is starting to pound it on here early in this first period.
24-4.
Watch it again
15,
here.
24-4.
That was a nice goal there by Blake's Nate Heidoff, and you see him stumble to the ice and get the goal right there in the slot. Perfect feed for the finish, and we will get a timeout, Centennial. And we'll turn our ice mic down as we could hear the refs evaluating that goal there for a moment. But we will step aside here for just a second. Centennial down 3-0. They call a timeout with 9:22 to go here in the first. We'll be right back. So back at the Plymouth Ice Center, it's all Blake Bears to start this game. We have 9:22 to go in the first period, and they already lead 3-0, 3 different goal scorers. It was Miller with the first one, Saber with the second, and Nate Heidoff with the third. So that is the score right now for the Bears, who lead it 3-0. Into the corner now as it's played out of the zone by Heidoff. Now kept in at the line. Here's a quick shot over the top of the Blake goaltender, Jonas Faith. Held in at the line by Everson. His shot got blocked and bouncing to the corner. Back in behind the net now. Cougars play it up along the wall into the slot area. All kinds of Bears jamming that lane there. Now Blake will move it out on the attempt here as it's bumped off the wall. Nice feed right in front and fought off by Troge. Action here in the corner now as it's Thomas Nelson back behind the net. Thrown up the wall, and now Reed will come out and play it for the Bears at neutral ice. Here's Best into the zone. Best will dish it off, and now back into the zone to come the Bears. Oh, man down. Here's Miller, and somehow it's kept out by Troge. And his defense not really helping him out there as the defenseman for Centennial fell down to the ice, and that's what made things a little bit interesting here as we'll watch it again. See an open lane there, and Troge keeps it out. So back underway with just over 8 minutes to go. Around the outside, Miller holding on, trying to go to the back door. That was a nice pass intended for Saber, but back the other way. This one skips up. Won't be an icing as we'll play on. Reed into the corner for Blake. Pass thrown out in the slot area and gathered up ahead by the Bears. Here's Miller. Holding on to it now on the left side. Goes to the back door for Gavin Best. Now Saber with it. Throws it in front. Scooped out of there by the Centennial defense. This will not be an icing as it comes to the Bears. Here's Svendal connecting with Gavin Best. And now the Bears will poke it into the offensive zone. Penalty coming up here against Centennial. And that will stop the clock with 7:10 to go. It's an interference call against the Cougars. So Blake will have their first power play of the game here. So already with a 3-0 lead, Blake gets a power play. See what the Bears can do on their first chance of the game. Off the draw, and Troj will just hang on to that one. 7:08 to go in the first period. Blake on top 3-0. Another face-off here on the power play for the Bears. Kept in at the line now by Reed. Shoved down to the ice. Big hit there. And now here comes Centennial shorthanded. Nice move into the zone on the backhander and kept out of there as that whole play was started by the Cougars' Jake Pearson. Nice job standing tall there to keep that one out of the zone. So 6:52 in the period, 1:42 on the Blake power play remaining, but they'll have a face-off in the defensive end. So now the Bears take it back behind their own goal and move it up. That penalty, by the way, on Centennial was against Henry Bartle for interference. Bears across the line now. Save there, rebound, and blown dead by the officials with 6:36 to go. Good job keeping that one out there by Leo Troj. Flying right along here in this first period despite the 3-0 score. Blake on the power play for another minute 26 as they win it off the draw. Backhanded in the corner by Will Svendal. Cougars whacking away here to try and get it out as it went off the stick there of Marshall. Bears play catch at the point and move it across. Dexheimer into the corner now. Back up for Dexheimer. Swung across, held on to, and moved down low. Here's Dexheimer pinching in from the left point, moving it back to the top of the point. One-timer across, Troj fights it off, and we'll go back down low into the corner as Gavin Best cycles it around. They'll go back up for Best on the right wing side, up to the point. Here's Svendal, one-timer across. This one will go out of play with 5:46 to go in the period. 37 on the penalty clock. They'll get a new puck here for the official. Looks like they've got one ready. .37 left on the Blake power play. Backhanded around as Centennial will try and throw this one out of the zone. Pinned up in the corner now is Carter Korkowski, the defenseman for the Cougars. Nice job on the stick work there from Pearson. Now the Bears take a hold of it as they look to move up ice. Matsky, he had a goal yesterday for Blake in their 3-0 win. Fired back around to the other side. Intercepted in the slot. Shot there, and Troj scoops it up with 5:12 to go in the period and 2 seconds exactly remaining on the Blake power play. So Blake will have a face-off. They can get one more quick chance at a power play goal, and that will do it as Centennial is back to full strength now. Behind the net, worked up the boards now by Centennial as they'll take a hold of it into the zone. Nice moves by Bartle, fresh out of the box. Shot there off the back end of the net, and the net will come away loose as defenseman goes crashing in there for Blake, stopping the clock with 4:53 to go in the period. Shots on goal are 10-6 in favor of Centennial, but it's not like they've had or 10-6 in favor of Blake, but it isn't super lopsided, at least up to this point so far in the game. Down low, Blake trying to excavate it from the zone, and off some sticks kept in at the line, and the shot will go out of play. That one off the stick of Gavin Forga for Centennial. We'll change up the defense unit here. Another offensive zone draw here for the Cougars as they try and get this game back even, or at least try to get something on the board here. They've got a lot of time to work with, down by 3, but 4:40 remaining in the first period. Off the draw, Cougars win it back. Shot from Everson, didn't make it through the clogged lane there. And now Blake will reverse it the other way. Here they come across the line, save there, rebound, stumbling to the ice for a couple of Blake players. And now forced back to the corner in front. This will go back down the ice as it will be played by Spaeth. He'll leave it for his defense here with 4:12 to go in the period. Outlet pass up ahead on the right side. Gavin Best in there for Blake. Stood up at the line was Miller. That'll go back below the net. Now Centennial out. That pass missed, and it'll be backhanded into the zone by Carls. Blake trying to play it out now. They're stuck in their own end. Kept in at the line by Korkowski. We'll go to the far side boards where it'll be taken by Saber. Not out of the zone though, as they keep. Now Blake finally removing it. Pass up ahead. Here they come. Nice move, and they score! Oh my goodness. Brett Witzke. Beautiful goal, and the Bears have made it 4-0. Wow, watch this goal again from Witzke, as we'll see here.
6 from 4 and 3.
Watch Witzke
and we have a
coming
penalty.
in.
It doesn't have to go on the board. 19 for Centennial's got a hook that just needs to go on the book. Okay.
So we'll watch this one more time here from Witzke as he came into the zone, and sort of a partial breakaway play. Oh, whoops, it's gonna cut off on my replay system here. Watch it one more time. Witzke into the zone, nice move, and finishes for the pretty goal. So that comes with 3:24 left on the clock here in the first, and Blake is starting to lay the hammer down on Centennial. 4-0 as we get going here. 35. So Centennial replacing their goalie. And here's a chance in front of the net. The new Centennial goalie is going to be number 35, Jack Fuller, in goal now, replacing Leo Troge, who has let up 4 goals here in the first period. And we saw that happen in our earlier game as well. It was Carlson that came in for Cloquet, and oh, big hit shaken up here is Blaine's number 10, Connor Mahoney. Or Blake's number 10, Connor Mahoney, getting mixed up between Blaine, and it's going to be a nightmare tomorrow when Blaine and Blake play. The two teams that have very similar names, they will play tomorrow here at 5:30. Down into the Blake zone as it's played up the boards now by the Bears. Backhanded into the zone. by Anderson Bloom as it's played here by Centennial up the boards. Kept in at the line. Svendal shot didn't get through. And now will be played up the boards. 12 shots, 4 goals so far for Blake as they come across the line again. Here's Centennial into the zone. Off the mark. Miller speeding forward. Plays it up ahead. They stay on side. Here is a wraparound attempt, and this one will just be covered up by the goaltender for the whistle. Again, that new goaltender is Jack Fuller for Centennial, replacing Leo Troge, who was pulled after the first goal. So face off in the offensive zone for the Bears. 1:37 to go. As it's taken a hold of along the wall. Out through center now. Centennial clears the zone. And it will be played by Miller. At the line, Bears have it again as they move it up the boards. Gavin Best gave it away to Munson, and now Carls will play it. Tommy Carls for Centennial, forcing his way into the zone as he is muscled up along the wall, getting some help there on the reinforcements. Now the Bears take a hold of it. Out of the zone now it will come, and they are off sides. That will stop it with 59.9 to go on the clock. Face off just outside the zone. But Blake with a dominating first period here. They lead it 4-0, and we'll get you caught up on the goal scoring summary here right at the end of the period. So stay tuned for that if you're just joining us. It's been a great period for the Blake Bears. Now in front, nice kick save from Jack Fuller. Centennial will try and move it up the boards. Fired back down low by Witzke. Centennial will tag up here. And delayed off sides. Touched now by the Cougars. Pearson moving it up ahead. In front, and is it in? Yes! Centennial is on the board, making it 4-1 here as they get on the board. Let's watch this again on replay as the Cougars strike. So referees talking about if maybe it was kicked in here.
20.
They're going to count the goal.
Oh, no, it's 9 for 20.
So the goal for Centennial will be, looks like Jake Pearson, assisted from Sam Munson, and now the referees discussing with the coaching staff for Blake. But this goal is going to count with 29.3 to go in the period. So big goal for Centennial. So they now are only now by 3 here with less than 30 to go in the period. Banked off the boards at the line and picked up here. So they'll go back into their own end. 18 to go in the period. Swinging it across now at the far side. Laid up along the wall and taken a hold of by the Cougars. One last chance to try and get it within 2. Sticked away on the shot from Henry Bartle. And that will do it for the first period of play as we come to a close here at the Plymouth Ice Center. Dominating first period for the Blake Bears. They lead it 4-1. Let's get you caught up on the goals. Our first one in the game was from Joe Miller for Blake, and that was unassisted. Then Jack Saber from Ben Dexheimer. Third goal was from Nate Heidoff from Anderson Bloom, and Reed getting the secondary assist. And then the fourth goal, Brett Witzke from Ben Dexheimer, and the secondary assist, or no secondary assist on that goal. And then for Centennial, they get the fifth goal of the game, first for them, from Jake Pearson and Sam Munson with about 30 seconds left in the period. So a big period for Blake. They lead it 4-1 here after one in Plymouth. We'll step aside for our first intermission. Make sure to stay tuned for the second period. Blake leading Centennial 4-1.
Too heavy? Try it.
I got it.
Wow, this looks amazing. Can I help you make a few?
Sure.
You sure?
Huh?
Hi, I'm Derek. Nice to meet you. What's the ultimate dream for your business?
We have this hunger project that I give back to the kids to buy food.
How long have you had this dream?
10 years.
So you're 6 years old and you had the dream for 10 years. That's pretty good. That's someone that knows what they want to do in life.
Too heavy? Try it.
I got it.
Lift it up. 1, 2, 3. Good. Looks great.
Wow, this looks amazing. Can I help you make a few?
Sure.
You sure?
Huh?
Hi, I'm Derek. Nice to meet you. So how long have you been doing this?
2 years.
2 years. So you're an expert.
Yes.
Can you do one with my name?
Sure.
D-E-R-E-K?
D-R-E-K.
D-E-R-E-K.
D-E-R-E-K?
Yes.
Okay.
What's the ultimate dream for your business?
I really wish I had more bracelets to make every single day.
What do you do with the money?
We have this hunger project that I give back to the kids that don't have enough money to buy food.
So the more bracelets you make, the more money you raise, and then the more kids you can help out. How long have you had this dream?
10 years.
So you're 6 years old and you had the dream for 10 years. That's pretty good. That's someone that knows what they want to do in life.
Yeah.
Okay, now, what do you think about this?
Ooh. Yeah.
Pretty good?
Yep.
Okay.
I think that being in a sport, it has built into it the concept that we are going to face a challenge. When we do sport the right way, we are teaching values. We're teaching kids how to be hard workers. We're teaching kids how to be courageous, to be fearless. Dynamites, because we have a focus on whole life youth development, physical, academic, social and spiritual excellence, we get that we're trying to develop people to be whole people. And I think that when you combine that mission with sport, I think you naturally get that. We have programs in each of those 4 areas. We have ice hockey for physical excellence. Academic excellence includes academic support like one-on-one tutoring. We have a summer academic camp. Social excellence includes our big community service project, Greg Carroll Learn to Skate, and also we're faith-based. So when kids are old enough, they have the choice to go to summer camp, kind of that traditional summer church camp. Every kid in the program has multiple mentors. If they're in tutoring, they have a very special mentor that's just their very own. And then of course the hockey coaches are mentors, and of course all the staff are mentors too. So we have a very high retention rate. Dynamite's high school graduation rate over 20 years is 85%. And over the last 5 years, 96% have graduated, which is really significant because right now Minneapolis Public Schools is reporting that their graduation rate is 53%. So that, I think, is another measure that shows this is working. Being a faith-based organization, I think we're able to say things that are really powerful sometimes. We might say to the kids, like, we're gonna do some hard things today. And we want you to remember, we can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. A few minutes later, we might be asking them to do that hard thing, and you got heads down and panting, and remind them, remember, you have strength. God's given you the strength to do this. You have the strength that you need inside you right now. They might even remember the moments where they began to believe that, where they began to believe, I should be fearless. Only believe, do not fear.
Welcome back to the Plymouth Ice Center. I'm putting on the gloves up here in the booth because it's getting very cold inside the Plymouth Ice Center. And David Hill, and I can tell, is getting a little chilly, our camera person as well here. He says not true. It's a 4-1 lead for Blake over Centennial as we'll get ready to go here in the second period underway. Blake 4-1. They've got 4 different goal scorers on the day. They've got Miller with the first one, Saber with the second, and then Heidoff with the third, and Witzke with the fourth goal for Blake. Here's another try, and they score! Oh my goodness, what a start to the period as Blake makes it 5-1. We'll go ahead and take a look at this one on replay here. Great work by David Hillen on camera, and let's watch it again. Nice job into the zone, and top shelf, a beauty right there from the Blake
9
Bears.
from 8 and 4.
Second of the game for
And then
Jack
11
Saber.
black. You just have to write it down. He has a 2-minute minor for elbow.
So here we go, just 24 seconds in, I believe, to the period. So how about that start for the Blake Bears? They get a 4-goal lead back. And keep in mind, too, if we get to the third period and it's still a blowout, I believe 6-goal lead is the cutoff for what would be running time. So still some work to do. Have to get it to the third period at least. But Blake looks like they're heading there at the moment. So now Centennial across the line. This one sails over the top here, and it'll be pushed up the boards. Fired in there by Centennial as they'll go back down low behind the net. Picked up by Dexheimer. Dexheimer, and played up through center ice. Here comes Blake. Heidoff into the zone with speed. Drops it for Best. Or actually that is Carter Krenke for Blake. 5-1 lead. They try to make it 6-1 there. Or a 4-goal lead right now, and another stop there from the Centennial goaltender, Jack Fuller. Now played out of the zone as it goes back into the net. Now Matsky dishes it off. And taking a hold of now, wrist shot blocked. And that rebound floating around, backhanded in front as they try to go to the far side. And now played in the corner once again. Here's Krenke being pinned up along the wall. And that will be an icing here against Centennial. Stopping it with 14:55 to go in the period. So back to Cougar territory. This has been about of a disastrous start as you can ask for the Centennial Cougars. They lost 6-1 yesterday, which was already bad enough, and now they're down 5-1 just a couple minutes in here to this period. So hasn't been a good day at all for the Cougars. Still a lot of time to work with here. A 4-goal lead is not insurmountable by any means, but it'll be tough to do so. Save there and a whistle on the held shot there. 14:39 to go in the second. 5-1 lead for Blake. It'll be Novotny on the face-off, and the quick shot stop there. Here's a shot from the point again. That one skids wide. And up to the boards. Here comes Blake. Thomas Nelson lost it on the stick. Good job defensively from Centennial. That was Matt Everson on the back check there. And now worked up back to the point. Wrist shot blocked, whacked away, and pushed to the corner by Blake. Gavin Best with it on the tape. Best swings it across, knocked out of the zone by Centennial, and that will bring it back to the Blake end. Bears on the breakout. Here is Jack Saber into the zone. Saber looking for the hat trick, slides it across the blue paint. Now in the slot, that one just rolling off the toe there of Svendal. Now picked up again. Saber works it along the boards. We'll go back down low for Miller. Top line out for Blaine. Look at this puck movement here from the Blake Bears. Held in at the line, just below the goal line now for Miller. Back up top, here's Dexheimer. Dexheimer will slide it across. Bears with good possession here. It's almost like they're on the power play with how well they are playing right now with puck possession. Now Gavin Best cycling it back here as he connects. Brister there, missed the net. And that will finally be cleared down the ice by Centennial. It'll be an icing against them. And that will stop the clock at 12:51 to go in the period. So a change of the lines here for both teams. After the Centennial icing, shots are 15-8 right now in favor of Blake. And obviously, unsurprisingly, they lead this game 5-1. Off the draw, back down low as it's picked off. Here's a wrister, stick save from Leo Troge, who is back in the net, by the way, for the Centennial Cougars. They pulled him, and then they put him back in. It's an interesting scenario there for Centennial. But regardless, here comes Blake into the zone, thrown out in front. And nobody home as it's scooped up by the Cougars. Up the ice now, dropped off. Here's Bartle off the iron. Henry Bartle trying to get the second goal of the game for Centennial. But now across the line, drop pass here, spinning away from trouble is Matsky. And this puck will come out through center. Into the zone, Novotny drops it in the slot for Bartle. Bartle dancing his way in, and that one just goes off the tape there of Novotny. Big physical play in the corner. Snick snaps as Lemire lost the twig. Giveaway in front, and this one goes into the netting and out of play. So that will stop the clock. 11:44 to go in the second period. Been a quick second period so far. 5-1 lead for Blake, who scored just less than 30 seconds in to make it 5-1. So here we go off the face-off. 11:42 again remaining in the third. Forced up out to the center ice area as it's pumped in by Centennial. Now back along the boards. Anderson Bloom into the zone for Blake. This one will go and be kept in at the line. Fired to the corner now where it'll be played by Heidoff for Blake. Right in front, the Bears trying to force their way to the net there, but kept in. Deflected and shoved to the corner by Blake on the attempted shot attempt. And so the Bears will connect at center. Gathered in by Centennial as they go across the line. Here's Tommy Carls trying to feed a man in front there. The intended target was Pearson. Pearson has the lone goal for Centennial in the game. That was on the assist from Sam Munson for Centennial. Now pumped into the zone and left here for Centennial. Bartle leaves it up ahead. Into the zone, Bartle on the right side. He's pinned up along the wall. Forced back down low to the corner. In front, no look pass from Pearson. Everson with the shot redirected and just jammed wide at the side door. And a penalty coming up here. We'll see who this is against. I'm not sure. I think Blake actually for interference. That will indeed be the case. So interference, the call looks like it will be on Ryan Ressman for the Bears, and Centennial have a power play here. They need something to go their way. Whoops. put Blake power play. It is a Centennial power play, so we'll get that fixed here for you on the board. Down into the corner, up along the wall now. Here's Carl's one-timer slid across and blocked out of the zone. Here they come. Short-handed, here is Anderson Bloom. Backhander save and covered up by Troge. Nice job on the stoppage there with 9:48 to go in the period. 140 on the Blake Minor penalty. So face off in the offensive zone though for the Bears because of that short-handed rush. Back around the outside, the Cougars will move it up and out of the zone. Here's AJ Carls into the corner now as he's pinned up along the wall. And Tommy Carls bumping it back to the point. Carls again swings it over. Lost on the tape there for a moment. And now finally forced out of the zone by the Bears. Played in now by Centennial to neutral ice. Here they come across the line. Here's Tommy Carls. Shot there, redirected, rebound, stick save, is it in? Ref hasn't made a signal yet. And we'll see. And it's a goal. They call it in. And we are certainly going to have to take a look at this one on replay and see what we can get. But Centennial has scored. And let's watch this here on replay. So here's the play developing. It's thrown in front. And then that's where they say the goal happened. And trying to slow it down there. See if we can get a look at the puck.
I don't have anything to weigh that off. It went in right away. Like, okay. Right, the initial tip, it didn't hit anybody. Like, the guy got
Can hear the refs discussing, but this is kind of where you see.
Yeah, he did get shoved.
You got shoved in there by
And I don't think
Okay.
yeah, I didn't have anything to weigh that
And
off.
that's what I thought. I didn't have anything either. So do we have a number on that? 25 scored. Okay, can we get an assist?
15 at least.
Okay. 25 from 15.
So they're going to call it a goal, and it will be Josh O'Hara from Tommy Carls. Power play goal for Blaine, as you see the referees discussing with the Blake coaching staff. And we heard their discussion, and basically what the refs were saying is they didn't see anything that would have warranted not giving them the goal. So Centennial on the board here, 5-2 with a power play goal. And that will keep it rolling here with 9:02 to go in the period. Taken down, penalty coming up against Blake. And we'll see, we might have just coincidentals. We'll have one penalty on Blake for sure, which was the slash with 8:55 to go. And it will be a slash here on Jack Saber. So already we had a Centennial power play goal, and maybe we could have another here with 8:55 to go in the second. Referee will make sure the net is all stable and ready. And it looks like we're ready to go. So Jonah Spaeth, make sure the posts are intact there. Here we go off the draw. Centennial trying to strike and get back in this game. Here's Lemire as he swings it across. Lemire now dishes it over to the left side. Carls with the shot that was blocked. And Carls will move it back down low to the corner on that left side. Down low now. Centennial continuing to work in the zone as they force it back up to the point. Nice move at the line by Bartle. His shot missed the net. Tommy Carls receives it on the left side. Carls down low. Tape to tape. Glove save. And a stoppage with 8:18 to go in the second period. One of the good things about the new software we're going to be rolling out here on MN Hockey TV is the ability to kind of scrub those replays like you saw as we looked at that Centennial goal. And we are hopefully going to be getting this for at least one other setup. We were hoping to have it today at St. Louis Park, but we may try and go there tomorrow. We'll see. But this is that new software production truck by Blue Frame. Really cool stuff for broadcasting, and they have done a great job of getting us set up. And you have a clock on the screen, nice little motion graphics. If you've been watching our other stuff throughout the day, we've seen the ticker and kind of the stats preview of what's been the case so far. Centennial will hold it here as they take a hold of it now at the line. Played into the zone by A.J. Lemire. And Lemire trying to cut inside, that didn't work. Now A.J. Carls back down low to the other side where it will be played by Munson. Stapled up along the boards. And right out in front as they work it. Fought off, rebound taken a hold of back behind the goal line. And stumbling to try and get that one out for the Cougars, or up to the point rather, was A.J. Carls. Carls inside, nifty little move, lost it. One-timer over, glove save, rebound, scores! Buried in front, and all of a sudden, this game is a 5-3 game. The Cougars trying to make a comeback bid here. Watch this on replay as it was buried right at the back door.
11. Thanks, buddy.
Tommy Carls with the goal. And so a big goal for Centennial, and somehow they have gotten back into this game. Now 5-3. So we'll see if that really amounts to anything here as we continue on, but this game did get a lot more interesting for the time being. So now Blake will play it into the zone. It goes off the tape of Bloom and back behind the net. Centennial has the last two goals. It was 4-0 and then 5-1, and then it is now 5-3. So that pass misses the mark, no icing, as Troge has it roll off the stick. Look out, good defensive play there from the Cougars, bailing out Leo Troge. New Power fires it into the corner as it will go back behind the net, now off the glass for the Cougars. Back in behind the net, New Power trying to play it here as Miller sends it to the near side boards. 6:10 to go in period number 2 of a great game here. Blake was up by 4 twice, but now the deficit is cut in half to 2, 5-3. Back in behind the net, picked up by the Bears as it's Crosby. He's tripped up, obvious penalty coming against the Cougars, and that will go down. I love the sprint there from the Blake goaltender, Jonas Spaeth. Full-on desperation mode to get down the ice. So penalty now against Centennial. So Blake with a power play, and we'll see what they can get here on this chance. New Power goes to the box on the trip. Great work there by David Hillen on camera, getting a close-up of New Power. So 5:43 left in the period, and Blake will have a power play as they have allowed the last 2 goals. Here is Will Svendal. And off the stick, this one coming, bouncing around, they score! This is a 1-goal game, shorthanded tally, and Centennial is within a 1.
8 unassisted, 8.
Wow, we got to take a look at this one again and watch this on the replay. It just bounced right in front. It was mishandled by Spaeth, and it was buried in front by Connor Thompson. Wow, what a turn of events we have had here at the Plymouth Ice Center. It is a 1-goal game. Blake was up 4-0 and 5-1. And they still have some time here on the power play. 1:34 to go on it. At the line now back up top, wristed, missed the net there as it's picked up along the boards by Blake. They'll move it over, Best across, and fanned on. Played up now by the Bears. Here they come back into the zone. Good speed from Miller, trying to put on the moves. Here is Miller, a cross shot and a stop by Troge. That was probably one of his best ones of the night right there. And that keeps this game at 5-4. So Leo Troge flashing the leather there for a pretty stop. Take a look at this one again. And Troge standing his ground right there at the back door to keep it at 5-4. Under 5 to play now in the period. So we'll go back up to the wall. Gathered in now by Centennial as they try and force it out of the zone. Moved up through center. And back by Blake as it bounces off the wall. And Munson trying to move into the zone as he got cut off at the line. 4:25 to go in the period. Blake and Centennial locked in a good one here. This was all Blake in the first period and even parts of the second period, but 3 unanswered from the Bears, or from the Cougars rather. That made things very interesting. Here's Saber around the outside, moving it back to the point. Now Saber again on the left side. Saber bumps it, trying to get it out. Saber keeps it at the line. Here's a wrister. Nice block there by the Cougars. That was the captain for Centennial, Josh O'Hara. He's got one of the goals for Centennial in this comeback bid. This puck will get out of the zone, and Centennial is back at full strength here. And the puck will come out of the zone, but 3:39 to go in the second period. And I think I spoke a little bit too soon about running time, because it looked like Blake was well on their way to at least running time in the third period, and then Centennial storming back to make it 5-4, and we still have a chunk of time to play here in the second, 3:36. Now Blake across the line, or in the neutral zone rather, as they were startled on the entry. Troge will let this go into the corner. Up now along the wall as it's back behind the net. Gavin Best in front. Net came off its moorings as it stopped for the whistle with 3:15 to go in the second. So it's been a great game so far. Let's go back and take a look at that fourth goal that happened for Centennial. Well, we'll wait until the next whistle here. We'll play on. 3:15 to go in the period. Here come the Cougars out through center. Good speed into the zone. Right there, and just a little bit too far out of the reach there of A.J. Carls, the intended recipient. Thompson out there as well for the Cougars. And now Thompson playing it down low. Up to the line, Wistersill fires it into the corner for a moment. Nice job by Carls to get it down low. Connects off a skate, and that one will just roll to Spaeth, who hangs on. 2:45 to go now in the period. See if we can, hopefully I got the right clip pulled up here. This was the goal that was just a knuckleballer, and it went into the back of the net after it was buried by Centennial. That was shorthanded to make it 5-4. So now fired back into the zone. Blake will take a hold of it as it's gathered here by Dexheimer. Now sent up the boards for William Matsky. Matsky cutting inside, nice move, but Troge will wisely hang on here. 2:26 to go now in the period. 8:39 local time here in Plymouth, Minnesota. It's been a long day. We've had action since 12 o'clock this afternoon, and I got here at the Plymouth Ice Center about 10 o'clock this morning. Got to get set up every day, and it's been a long one, that's for sure, and another one tomorrow, but it's been great hockey and has definitely been worth the trip up here to Plymouth. And if you're on the fence about checking out maybe your favorite team's action tomorrow, highly recommend it. It's just a great experience here at the Plymouth Ice Center. And we've got some good games tomorrow and a fun one to end the night. Blaine and Wyzetta. That will be at 7:30 here at the Plymouth Ice Center. I'm expecting that we'll have a packed house here at Plymouth. Down into the corner as it will go up to the top. Shot there, missed the mark, and fired wide off the boards as it will go up ahead. At the line now, gathered in by the Cougars. They try and play it into the zone. This will be an icing against Blake, or not an icing against the Cougars. Long stretch ice pass trying to connect there with Blake's number 24, Anderson Bloom, in front off the tape. 1:15 to go now in the period, and we get a whistle for the stoppage with 1:14. The net came off. So I got to do some verification here about who plays tomorrow, because I've got two different things listed. The hub says Blake and Cretin-Derham Hall tomorrow, but this says Blake and Blaine in the Tradition at the PIC program book. So we'll do some double checking here and make sure we have the right games for you lined up tomorrow. Off the face-off and down low, and this one will be played up along the boards. Carls connects, nice pass on the entry. Here's Thompson, shoots, save there, and he'll follow it up into the corner. 1 minute to play now in the second period. Kept in at the line. Here's a wrister over the top as it sails high on Spaeth. Puck up in the air, Lemire trying to grab it. Tied up and now sent out of the zone by Blake. This will not be an icing as it doesn't have enough juice. 43.8 to go now in the second. Taken back behind the net as Centennial tries to move out of the zone. Now up the boards, here they come. Here is Tommy Carls trying to tie this game up before the period. Carls forced around the outside and back into the corner with 23.2 to go. Lemire forces it back behind the net. This one will go off the glass. Kept in and at the line. This one blockered away, and pouncing on it there is Spaeth, and that will get a stoppage with 9.2 to go in the period. So face off to the left here of Spaeth, and Centennial will have one last chance to get a shot on goal. Try and tie things up. I cannot believe I'm saying that after the start of this period. It was 5-1, 30 seconds in to this period, and Centennial has got themselves in a position to try and get things even here as we will head to the second intermission in a one-goal game. What an effort by Centennial, as they have scored 3 straight to end this period. And we will go into the third period of what is all of a sudden a very entertaining game here. 5-4 in favor of the Blake Bears, who still lead it, although not by as much. So we'll step aside for the second intermission. Blake on top of Centennial 5-4. We'll be back for period 3.
Heavy? Try.
I got it.
Lift it up. 1, 2, 3. Good. Looks great.
Wow, this looks amazing. Can I help you make a few?
Sure.
You sure?
Uh-huh.
Hi, I'm Derek. Nice to meet you. So how long have you been doing this?
2 years.
2 years. So you're an expert.
Yes.
Can you do one with my name?
Sure.
D-E-R-E-K?
D-R-E-K.
D-E-R-E-K.
D-E-R-E-K?
Yes.
Okay.
What's the ultimate dream for your business?
I really wish I had more bracelets to make every single day.
What do you do with the money?
We have this hunger project
Okay.
that I give back to the kids that don't have enough money to buy food.
So the more bracelets you make, the more money you raise, and then the more kids you can help out. How long have you had this dream?
10 years.
So you're 6 years old and you had the dream for 10 years. That's pretty good. That's someone that knows what they want to do in life.
Yeah.
Okay, now, what do you think about this?
Ooh. Yeah.
Pretty good?
Yep.
Okay.
I think that being in a sport, it has built into it the concept that we are going to face a challenge. When we do sport the right way, we are teaching values. We're teaching kids how to be hard workers. We're teaching kids how to be courageous, to be fearless. Dynamites, because we have a focus on whole life youth development, physical, academic, social and spiritual excellence, we get that we're trying to develop people to be whole people. And I think that when you combine that mission with sport, I think you naturally get that. We have programs in each of those 4 areas. We have ice hockey for physical excellence. Academic excellence includes academic support like one-on-one tutoring. We have a summer academic camp. Social excellence includes our big community service project, Greg Carroll Learn to Skate, and also we're faith-based. So when kids are old enough, they have the choice to go to summer camp, kind of that traditional summer church camp. Every kid in the program has multiple mentors. If they're in tutoring, they have a very special mentor that's just their very own. And then of course the hockey coaches are mentors, and of course all the staff are mentors too. So we have a very high retention rate. Dynamite's high school graduation rate over 20 years is 85%. And over the last 5 years, 96% have graduated, which is really significant because right now Minneapolis Public Schools is reporting that their graduation rate is 53%. So that, I think, is another measure that shows that Dynamites is working. Being a faith-based organization, I think we're able to say things that are really powerful sometimes. You might say to the kids, like, we're gonna do some hard things today. And we want you to remember, we can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. A few minutes later, we might be asking them to do that hard thing and you got heads down and panting. And remind them, remember, you have strength. God's given you the strength to do this. You have the strength that you need inside you right now. They might even remember the moments where they began to believe that, where they began to believe, I should be fearless. Only believe, do not fear.
Welcome back here to the Plymouth Ice Center. 5-4 lead for Blake as we begin this third period. It was 5-1 early in the second frame rather, but the Centennial Cougars storming back. They've got 3 unanswered goals right now, and Blake will try and stop that. Here's a chance right across, and that's broken up as Centennial will take it the other way. Outlet pass. Here is O'Hara, shoots it wide of the goal. Now the Bears will play it out through center. This has been just a terrific game here this evening. It looked like we were headed for running time, but Centennial had something to say about that. Here's a drop pass in the slot and a hook and a penalty coming up. That is a pretty obvious penalty, but one that I think he needed to take there on the slash, actually, not a hook. So Blake will go to the power play here. 16:09 to go in the third. So Centennial goes to the box. That penalty is on Sam Munson for a slash. And now the Cougars will have to kill off another penalty, but they did score a shorthanded goal their last time that they had a penalty to kill. So that could be something that they look to use to their advantage. Pass in the crease, slides across. And now it will be banked off the boards, but not out. Along the wall and down into the corner. Nice pass. Here's the wrister, saved by Troge. And the rebound goes up along the boards. Blake still controlling here in the offensive zone. Backdoor pass. Great save. Rebound, scores! 6-4 lead for Blake as they get the power play goal. And that's a big one. I mistakenly had Blake listed on the penalty there, but it was a Blake goal on the power play. And so that will make it a little bit more interesting here. 6-4 in favor of Blake. That one coming with 15:34 to go. So just like the second period, and really the first, if Blake gets an early goal in the period, this will be an icing against the Cougars. So back down to their end. See who gets credit there for the Blake goal as well. Off the draw, down low into the corner. And a played up right along the blue line. Blake will dump it back into the zone. This one will just roll to Leo Troge, who will go up along the boards. Banked up out of there. Centennial grabs a hold of it here. Here is Lemire. And he will go back behind the nets. Blake trying to play it up out of the zone. And taken down. Across the line. There's Marshall. Witzke on the secondary assist, or the primary assist, and Matsky on the secondary assist on the power play goal from Anderson Bloom for the Blake Bears. So that is the scoring line on that goal. Now here's Centennial across, and it's just between the wickets of Jake Pearson. Now across the line, here comes Blake Miller across, and crashing into the net there. As Troge is a little bit shaken up. Jack Saber was the one that went into the net hard. Blake back on top by 2 after they had their lead trimmed down to 1. So again, a power play goal by Anderson Bloom. Here we go, face off, and Troge gives the post a little whack there, looks like in frustration. But now comes Centennial out the other way. Across the line, here's Carl, shoots, save, and the rebound goes to the corner. Now picked up by Thompson, and they are offside. So stopped at the line by the officials that blew it dead. I should have. Stupid mistake. Here we go off the face-off. Centennial trying to move it into the offensive zone again as Carls is stuffed on the entry attempt. Now the Bears will take a hold of it as it's gathered here by William Matsky in the corner now as he's pinned up along the wall. Loose puck emerges. Blake will keep it back to the point and held onto by Troge, who will stop it with 13:35 to go in the period. Blake and Centennial locked in a good one here. It looked like, again, if you're just joining us, Blake was up 5-1 early in the second period, just 30 seconds in, and then Centennial used the rest of that second period to crawl their way back into the game. They scored 3 in a row to make it 5-4, and then Blake scored one about a minute and a half in here to the third to bump it back up to a 2-goal lead. So that's where we stand right now, but still a lot of time left. 13-18 to go in this game. And played up the boards off the tape. They're now fired into the corner there, or intended to be in the corner by Ankrum. And now Ankrum will force it to the Blake zone, and back out through center ice come the Bears. Drop pass right there, and they were looking for Heidoff that time. He's got one of the 6 goals for Blake. Here's a try, and that one missed the net. Kept in at the line by the Bears. Took a tumble there, was Best, and sails off the glass and down the length of the ice for a icing against Centennial. 12:36 to go in the third. Look at the games tomorrow. We'll start it off here at 12 o'clock between Hail Murray and St. Michael Albertville. And then Centennial and Cloquet Esco Carleton will follow at 2:30. And then Blake and Cretin-Derham Hall at 5. And our 7:30 game is going to be a really fun one. Wyzetta and Blaine. Blaine and Wyzetta to close it down here at the Tradition at the PIC tournament. That's probably the game of the day, and saving the best for last. We had a great game last night between Hill Murray and Wyzetta. We had a packed house here as well. This one just missed the mark. Tumbling down to the corner was Jack Saber. Now Miller will send it across as this top line comes out again here for the Blake Bears. Into the corner now. Banked off the wall and sent to the far side. 12:03 to go as we played 5 minutes of this third period. Saber lost it in the wickets. And now fired across as Centennial will take a hold of it now here. Now tape to tape. Along the wall, here come the Cougars into the zone. That one's fired deep and into the Blake neutral zone. Best, and now taken a hold of by Will Svendal. Svendal up through center, dishes it to the corner where it's played back behind the net. Given away as the Cougars will take it. Korkowski missed the mark on the pass. So Crosby will send it up the boards. Here comes Blake into the zone. Drop pass at the point. This one jammed by the Cougars defense in front. Now Carls will play it up ahead. Here's Carls. Now Tommy Carls off a body. That one muffles its way to the corner and cleared out, as this will be an icing here against Blake with 10:53 to go in this third and final period of day 2 of the Tradition at the PIC tournament. Shots, though, are 31-15 in favor of Blake. Off the draw now, taken a hold of by the Bears as they look to move out. Nice bounce for them. So went off a skate and into the zone. Here's Bloom in the slot trying to find the trailer man. But fired up the wall now as the Cougars will play it back down below the goal line. Shot was blocked, and Blake getting tied up there along the wall, finally worked out of there by the Cougars. Just missed Carls on the intended feed. Down into the zone again, so we'll go back behind the Blake goaltender, Jonah Spaeth. Banked up the boards, played along the line by Carls as he dishes off to A.J. Carls around the outside. Here's Carls, trailer man, nice move, but bumped off the puck as Blake will take it in the right corner. Intercepted at the circle, shot there was turned aside by Spaeth. Now another try launched towards the goal, but that one will miss the mark. Backhanded up at the line, here is Munson for Centennial. So flip it in deep and come off for a change with a couple of his teammates. 9:35 to go in the third. This will be an icing against Centennial, or Blake rather. So back down to their end. About halfway through this third period. Cameraman David Hillen on his last legs here, trying to survive what's been a long day here in Plymouth. David's lucky because he doesn't get to talk for all 4 games like I do. Here's a chance in front that missed the mark off the tape of Henry Bartle. And now out through center with speed. Here's Miller. Right there, rebound, save, and they score. Buried in front, and Blake has made it 7-4 as they celebrate right in front of the net. And they are now back up by 3. We'll take a look at this one on replay again here.
What's up? Okay. 4 from 9 and 20.
Tough save to make there
And
for the
just put a
goaltender.
penalty on the sheet for 14 dark for interference, but nothing goes up. So.
Would have been a delayed penalty against Centennial, but since they gave up the goal, nobody will go in the box. And Blake has made it 7-4 on the goal, as Centennial had a great little effort, but now they've got even more digging to do here, down by 3. And another penalty coming up. This one is going to go back behind the net and blown dead. So penalty against the Cougars. Dexheimer with the goal. So Dexheimer on the goal with Saber and Miller the assists. Clock is at 8:55 in the period in a 2-minute power play for Blake, looking to add to their 3-goal lead. So here we go off the draw, forced to the corner, up the boards now as they will move it back down low. Top of the circle, or a point rather, now top of the circle for the Bears. Around the outside, nice dump off pass up to the point. Shot there by Reed, just missed the mark. Now the Bears continue to dig away as they move it to the point. Reed has it again, and this one will slip out of his grip as it goes back to the zone. Now Reed will dish it off here for his defense. 8:18 to go in the third, 1:20 to go on the Bears power play. Into the zone and fired out of there by the Cougars. And then Centennial will play Cloquet tomorrow at 2:30, and Blake will play Cretin-Derham Hall, and that game will be at 5 o'clock. And then the nightcap should be a fun one. Blaine and Wayzata. Wayzata had a big win today over St. Michael Albertville, 7-2. Meanwhile, Blaine let up 8 goals against Cretin-Derham Hall, and that ended up being 8-4 final. Really was 8-3 with a garbage time goal with quite literally 2 seconds or so to go in the game. So Blake will have a tough challenge tomorrow against the Raiders, and them and Wayzata are probably the 2 hottest teams right now in the boys AA. The original schedule had Wayzata playing Cretin-Derham Hall tomorrow, and here's a goal. No, they wave it off, as this one was waved off, I think, for goalie interference. And we got the replay here up and ready for you. Let's watch this again. Keep an eye on the goaltender, and yep, definitely bumped there. There is the interference occurring right about there, and that's where the ref waved it off. So good call by the official for goalie interference. So no goal on the play. We remain at 7-4. It's still a power play here for Blake. So here we go off the draw, as this one will go up in the air and be gloved down. Centennial will fire it back deep. Blake will move up into the zone now. But looking at Blake the rest of the way, they have got a tough section in 6AA. We'll get to that in a minute. Here's a pass at the back door. Fanned on, broken twig there from Miller. And he will have to come off for a change because of that broken stick. So that will do it for the Blake power play, as they are unable to convert. Looked like they had a goal for a minute, but it was no goal because of the goalie interference. But right call by the official, was right there in front of the net to make the stop. Shots on goal are pretty lopsided, just like the score. 34-16 in favor of Blake. Now back down to the side as it will go into the corner. And the Bears will try and move it out of the zone. But Centennial making a push. Here's a shot. That one caught the iron and out of play. And that will get us to a whistle here. 6:30 to go in the third. This was a really good game during the second period when Centennial was in their comeback phase, but they have let up 2 straight since then, and now it is back to a 3-goal game. Here's the shot off the mark. Cougars play it in front. That one misses the mark. And now taken out by Blake as they come out the other way. Down into the corner. That will be an icing against the Blake Bears. 6:15 to go in the third. And going back to Blake in the section that they're in, 6AA. Cameraman David Hillen thinks he's in the middle of Camp Randall Stadium for Jump Around. Not sure if he's a Badgers fan or not. I know he's a big Green Bay Packers fan. But now Blake will come into the zone as it's knocked off the tape there. And trying to be scooped up here by Blake's number 24, Anderson Bloom. He's got a goal today for the Bears. A lot of them, all kinds of different goal scorers really for Blake. And it's been a different player each time for the Bears as well. So that's been part of the fun for this Blake team. There's a chance in front of the net for Centennial the other way. A quick shot up in the air again. Look out. Stick went way up into the air, and the penalty was called by the official there. And we get an interference call with 5:32 to go in the third. And Blake will take a seat here. Looked like that was on Ryan Restman, the defenseman, and it is. So that will set up the Centennial power play here. 5:32 to go as they trail by 3. Off the draw, down low into the corner as it's played here by Blake's Will Svendal. Up the boards now. Nice job of getting it out by Best. Short-handed, here they come. Miller across, and getting tied up there for Blake was Ben Dexheimer. 5:07 to go in this game. Here's a chance in the slot for the Cougars. Shot there, blocker stop. And it looks like we're going to have another penalty coming up, but this time it will be, or actually it will be against Blake, so Centennial going to have a 5-on-3. Here is Lemire, and get the stoppage here, 4:50 to go. Cross check against the Bears, and so they will now have another penalty. This is on Ben Dexheimer. Believe it or not, that is the first 5-on-3 we've had in the 8 games here at the Plymouth Ice Center. So it took a while, but somebody's going to finally have a 5-on-3 opportunity. So that'll be the case for 1:17, and then Blake will have about another 40 seconds or so, 42 to be exact, on the power play. Or Centennial on the power play here. 2 minor penalties against Blake. Cougars with it in the offensive zone. Moved down low in front of the slot and picked up along the boards as Blake will continue to work here. Fired around and up to the boards, and it will slip by Bartle, who just couldn't hold it at the line. Now gathered in by Reed behind the net. And Blake will take a hold of it as they will just throw it down in the corner here, shorthanded on the 5-on-3 for another 30 seconds. Cougars will take it up the ice now as they come across the line. Drop pass here across. Good speed, and the wrister deflects its way off the boards. Munson into the corner now. Bartle up to the point. Bartle moves it over, and Centennial having a hard time getting these passes to connect. 8 to go on the power play. Bartle holding, waiting, going across and into the glove of the goaltender here with 3:34 to go. That is Spaeth, the starter. 2 seconds to go now on the Centennial 5-on-3, and then it will be a 5-on-4 for 42 seconds. Thank you. Off the draw, and so Centennial has killed off part of, or the Bears rather, Blake Bears have killed off half of this power play. Still needs to do the other half here. Broken up at the line, but forced back into the corner. Trying to go to the back door, intercepted by the Bears. Here's New Power with the shot, and it will ricochet into the corner. 3:12 to go in the third and final period. And Centennial has not scored a single goal here. And nice pass right up ahead, and they called it a high stick. Oh my word. That was a breakaway. And, I don't know, we're gonna have to go back to the replay here and check this one out, but that is a tough call to make as an official. So here's where the puck comes down. Let's see where he makes contact with it. That is right at the shoulder level. That is a tough call to make. And at this point, it really doesn't matter, but nonetheless, that's still a hard call to make as an official. This one will come out of the zone and be an offsides. So 2:57 now to go. 8 to go on the power play. Here we go on the draw. Right at the line now as it's played by the Cougars into the zone. Blake back to full strength as they kill off both the 5-on-3 and the 5-on-4. Now Lemire will take a hold of it as he bounces it off the boards. Cougars trying to go back into the zone. Blake reversing the other way as they come up. And now right at the line. Here's a chance in front and a nice stop by Troj. And in front again, here is Blake. Shot there, fought off by Troj. And he'll hang on to the whistle as he got run over by his own teammate. Here we go. Mayhem starting to take place. And a little extracurricular activity here after the whistle. We're going to have some penalties here.
Had him, dude. I already had him.
We'll have coincidental minors here. I have no idea what happened.
The initial shove into the goalie, and then he gave him a cross check. You want to give him? You want to give him 2?
So let's go back and look here.
Okay, gotcha. That's fine. 14's got a minor for cross check on Black on Centennial, and a minor for roughing. Yep. And 13 on Blake has a minor for roughing also.
So our replay wasn't working, but you can hear the officials discussing here right in front of our ice mic.
2 minutes on Centennial, yep.
All kinds of penalties assessed here in the final 2:16.
Yeah. I don't know why you gave him an extra. I want to give him an extra. That's my feeling too.
We'll give the referees a little privacy there at ice level as we get everything squared away. But this is kind of the worst thing you can ask for as a fan when the game is pretty much already decided and then people start to get a little bit too physical and then a bunch of penalties start to mount up, and that's what we're having. So right now there's a 2-minute minor on Centennial, and that is on AJ Lemire. I believe that's where the minor or the rough penalty came in, because looked like a Centennial player got thrown into the goal. And I'll see if we can take a look at this again here. This was the shove. Okay, I see the penalty now on Blake's Thomas Nelson. You see 13 in front, shoves a man over, and he goes flying into his own goaltender. So that is where the penalty comes from. And it makes things a little bit interesting here. 2:16 to go in the third. So just the one penalty up on the boards, and then I think there was 2 other coincidental penalties, one on Centennial, one on Blaine here with the play. And now we're getting everything squared away here. Referee still talking with the people in the box here. So now we'll look to get going. So it looks like we're finally ready to play hockey. That should not have taken as long as it did, but we're back on our way here. Power play for the Cougars of the Blake Bears rather, and it's shoved down to the ice, and a whistle is blown. 2 minutes to go in the period, and yet again another whistle here. So 2 minutes exactly to go in 1:45 on the Centennial power play. Or the Blake power play rather, excuse me, keep getting mixed up between the two. Cougars wanted a penalty there, they won't get it as it's left back now for the Bears. Here they come into the zone. Held on to at the left hash. Moved up to the point. Miller backdoor. That one fanned on by Gavin Best. Up in the air as we play on, and a big hit by Marshall. He knocks the man down to the ice. Now played up by the Bears as they take a hold of it at the line. Stood up on the play was Dexheimer. Leaves it. Open lane, scores! Another power play goal for the Blake Bears, and it is now 8 8-4, as it will be Will Svendal that gets the goal. Here we go. We'll take a look at it on the replay. A shot from Svendal in the slot area there as he finishes it nicely for the goal. 8-4 with 1:16 left, and we're right back to where we started at the second period, when it was 5-1. Now once again a 4-goal deficit for Centennial, and unfortunately for them, this one is all but over. So it was a fun second period while it lasted, but unfortunately for the Centennial Cougars, the comeback effort going to fall short here tonight. This, if this score holds, it'll be our second 8-4 score of the day, as Cretin-Derham Hall beat Blaine 8-4 earlier. My goodness, it has just been a whistle machine here these past few minutes. It's like the final 2 minutes of a basketball game, and everybody's got their timeouts, and then you got to look at the review and talk things over with everything. Off the draw now. Played up, taken a hold of by Centennial. They chop it along the wall. Everson, and it'll be picked up. So Blake will move to 2-0 here at the Tradition at the PIC tournament, and they will play tomorrow against Cretin-Derham Hall, who is also 2-0. So one of either Blake or Cretin-Derham Hall is going to be 3-0 tomorrow. And the other one will go home 2-1, still a good record, but both these teams would like to go to 3-0. And then Centennial, they will play Cloquet, and Centennial will be 0-2 entering that, as will Cloquet, as Cloquet lost to Blaine 5-3. So one of those teams will come away with a win, and one of them will go 0-3. So that will do it. 8-4 is the final score, as the Blake Bears take down the Centennial Cougars. Dominating first period for the Cougars, or for the Blake Bears rather, as they led 4-1 after the first, early 5-1 in the second, and then it was a really fun second period as Blake squandered a lead. Centennial came back to make it 5-4 at the end of the second, but then 3 unanswered here for Blake as they close the door with an 8-4 win. So that'll wrap it up for day 2 of the Tradition at the PIC tournament. We'll have day 3 tomorrow, as we're looking at the schedule. Hill Murray and St. Michael Albertville will open up the day at 12 p.m. Centennial and Cloquet will follow at 2:30. 5 o'clock, it'll be Blake and Cretin-Derham Hall, and then the nightcap, Wyzetta and Blaine. So that'll wrap it up here from the Plymouth Ice Center. Thanks for joining us, whether you watched one game or all 4 today. Appreciate you tuning in, and we'll have great action again here tomorrow on mnhockey.tv. Blake wins it 8-4 over Centennial. For our entire crew here today, Natalie Stevens, David Hillen, I'm Matt Harrington saying so long from the Plymouth Ice Center.